Hey guys, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Freaky Friday, woo woo. Today is definitely freaky, guys. I live in Colorado and there are 8 firefighters going very close to me as well. So it's very dark right now, very ashy. You walk outside and looks like it's snowing outside. It's not, it's ash. It's all over the cars, all over everywhere. So it's just best to stay in, and it's very windy. So it's about 38, 39 degrees outside. Very cold. That's why I got this. My coffee. Of course, I don't think y'all can see that, but there's whipped cream and cinnamon on my hazelnut coffee. So I'm going to put you on a pause because this Freaky Friday movie is a little bit long. So I'm going to put you on a pause, go get a snack, get something to drink. We'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. I hope you are too. Thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate that. So let's get into this movie. It's going to be a little bit, but look at my glitter. This is from the Hocus Pocus. And see how pretty that is? That's the Another Glorious Morning Makes Me Sick glitter. And then tomorrow I will be having my temporary tattoo here that I do every Friday for the Halloween and on the weekends. And here are my jewelry. Here are my jewelry. Good Lord. Here is my jewelry from Paparazzi. It is so beautiful. First time I wore it. And there's the matching necklace. Guys, if you're interested in Paparazzi jewelry, hit me up on Facebook. It's Essence of Glitz. We'll be doing Taco Tuesday this upcoming Tuesday too. See you there. All right, let's get into this movie. So, this movie I found on Netflix. It's called The Boy. It's 1 hour and 37 minutes long, and it's rated PG-13. So it's about Britta. She's from the United States. She's going to UK to be a nanny for this boy. And this boy is a unique boy. So she gets, supposed to get very paid for a very wealthy family. So she gets over there and they pull up to this house that is ginormous, just like a castle, guys. Ginormous, beautiful. Rotted gate, you know, iron, black wrought iron on the outside all the way around it. Beautiful. And she just needed a break, so she decided to take this job. So she goes in there and she's waiting to meet the family, and somebody spooks her. Because the house is kind of spooky. It's big, it's crazy, you know. So somebody spooks her, and it's Malcolm. Malcolm is the grocery boy. So once a week he delivers grocery to the house. So they're talking for a little bit, and then comes Miss Hillshire. We're going to call her Miss H. Her husband will be Mr. H. So it's the Hillshires. And she is talking to her, and then she's like looking around. So Britta takes off her shoes. And she's like, why are you doing that? Why did you take your shoes off? Well, I don't know. So then she puts them, so she takes them off because it was just like, it's common courtesy, you know, in the United States. So she leaves them off, and she's walking around, and she's looking at the staircase. And at the bottom of the staircase is a large portrait of the family. Mr. H, Mrs. H, and Brahms. He's the boy. So she's like, well, let's go meet him. So they go in to meet him. And Brahms is just sitting in a chair. And she looks, and the dad's talking to the boy. So he's kneeling down on the side. So it's like him, and then here's the boy. So you really can't see the boy. So she's like, well, we'd like to meet him. So Mr. H gets up, and there's a doll in this chair. That's the boy that she's going to be a nanny to, is the doll. And she's like, a doll? And she starts laughing, you know, gives this little giggle, and Mr. and Mrs. H are like amazed that she done that, just in shock. So Brahms a doll, she laughs, and that makes them a little bit upset. And then Brahms has like these really glossy, dark black eyes and a porcelain face. He's a doll. He's not going to move, right? He's like this. His face is just creepy, guys. Just flippin' creepy. And Malcolm starts talking. And Malcolm comes over to the boy, shakes his hand, and says something to him, and then walks away. So Malcolm and her start talking, and then they end up going to deliver, to go and under the groceries, go put them up, whatever. And she's like, well, you got to tell me about Brahms. Tell me what happened. So he's like, well, Brahms is just a little boy. And he says, well, what happened was, it was Brahms' 8th birthday. A fire broke out, and he didn't make it out. And that was the end of that. So she calls her friend later on that evening because things are just weird. And she's just like, oh my gosh. And I couldn't understand if it was Cindy or Sandy. Let's just say it's Sandy for the sakes, right? So she calls her friend Sandy that lives back in the States, and she's telling her friend that she's there to watch a doll, and she just can't believe this, and she's getting paid. She's supposed to get paid pretty good money, and once a week Malcolm is going to bring this money to her. So this house is super creepy, and the windows are even sealed shut. So as she's going about, learning stuff about the house and things, they introduce her to Brahms and his routine. So he has a daily routine. So she has to go and wake him up, and then she has to dress him, and then she carries him around all the time where she goes. But 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, the boy plays music, listens to music, and is told in a large room they play loud music, and then in the same room she reads poetry to him, precise and clear, every day for 3 hours. Both of those things be done every day. And then they make him lunch. Of course, he doesn't eat it, so they throw it in this like compost thing, and then they take all that food, and this is why they say that everything is sealed shut. All the windows are sealed shut is because they don't want the critters to come in and eat their compost. So they throw it outside, and it's good for the garden, and it's good for composting. So she realized that, she has to be chose by Brahm to stay there and to be a nanny. So she walks in on a conversation that they are having with Brahm at bedtime. They're putting Brahm to bed. They put it all to bed too, guys. This is like just a real kid, just a doll. So she walks in, and Mr. and Mrs. H are kneeling at the bed talking to Brahms. And then she's like, let us have a minute. And she shuts the door on her. So Britta's standing outside the door, going do-do-do-do-do-do. And then she opens up the door and says, okay, he chose you. He wants you. Out of all the nannies, he wants you. So she's like, okay. So in the next day or so, they decide that they are going to go on, after she gets this routine down, Mr. and Mrs. H are going on vacation. And is now leaving Britta in 100% charge of Brahms and Malcolm. So Malcolm is to be there once a week, giving her groceries and her pay. So the first week goes by, and just like some things happen. Hold on one second. Sorry, my dogs. So anyway, so after they leave, she promised them that she would take good care of them, and she tells Britta, if you play nice, he'll play nice. He likes to play. So she's like, okay. She's already creeped out about this doll, so she's like looking at this doll. As soon as they walk out, she throws him in the chair, and then she starts doing her thing. And then she decided she wanted a glass of wine, so she has one glass of wine, walks back by their room, and he's still sitting in this chair. And then she needs a refill. So she goes back, gets some more wine and gets a blanket, goes back to where she's going and goes in there to look at him, and he's still there. And she goes, sorry, Brahms, but you kind of creeped me out. So she takes this blanket and throws a blanket on top of him. So then she was, maybe she passed out. I'm not for sure what exactly happened, but she was looking at this picture, and then it was Mrs. H, Mr. H, and Brahms. And then all of a sudden, you know, she like turned her head and turned back around, and Brahms reaches out from the picture and grabs her neck and starts choking her. And then up she awakes. She awakes. It was just a dream. It wasn't real. It was real to her. Freaked me out too. But anyway, so she is freaked out, and then Malcolm shows up, and Malcolm is like, well, let me take you out, let me show you about the town. I'm not gonna say anything, Brahms won't say anything either. So they make a date. Well, then she's like, okay. So she finally agreed after a lot of convincing. So she decides that she's gonna go take a shower. So she goes and gets her red dress, and she puts it in the bathroom. And they had like this, like, not like you and I have a towel thing that we put our towels on, a towel hanger, but they had, like, back in the old days, they had this furniture thing that was like a big U, right? Maybe the rich people still have one, I don't know, because I sure don't have one. And you drape your clothes over that while you're in the shower, so then you get out, dress off, and then, you know, dry off, and then put your dress on. So she puts her dress on there, she takes her necklace off, she puts it on the sink, and she was in the shower, she's kind of like creepy, you know, she's like looking around like, wow. She gets out, and the necklace is gone. She's like, what? The dress is gone. So she's like walking around trying to find out where it is. It's gone. She doesn't see it. So she walks into the hallway and looks, and there's like the attic, you know, the attic thing that comes down from the roof, and these little stairs that you can crawl up into the attic. Well, you and me, we would have just left, right? Or would have put it back up. Not this knucklehead. She decides she's going up there. So she goes up there and she's like, hello, hello, is anybody in here? Hello? Well, then she decides there's nobody in there. So she's going to go on up there and take a peek and see what's up there. And about that time, boom, down comes that attic. It's actually retractable. So the attic stairs are like this, and it goes, and it sucked back up, and now she's stuck up there. Well, now she's stuck. She can't get out. She can't figure it out. And then she looks out the window, and who does she see? Malcolm. Malcolm's pulling up to get her for their date. And she's pounding on the door and pounding on the windows and stuff. Malcolm, Malcolm. This is a huge house. Malcolm couldn't hear her. So Malcolm's like, you know, like standing outside, and then comes back and looks up, and she's still pounding, and he doesn't see her. So he gets frustrated, like, I knew you wasn't going to go out with me, and takes off. So he takes off. So then she goes and finishes snooping, and she fell, and then she wakes up in the morning, and the light from the window coming in is the morning light. And she gets up, and she starts walking around, and she finds a scrapbook there. Not a scrapbook to me, but a photo album. She looks through it, and she sees Brahms and this girl, and then she sees that photo that was in the stairway, not one, but two of them in there. And then she looks again, and the stairs are down. So it's already open for her to go downstairs. So she's scared. She was scared. She stayed the night in that scary attic. That right there would have freaked the freak out of me, dudes. So, she leaves, and she is going to go look for Brahms, right? And he's there. And she decides to call her friend Sandy, tell Sandy about this. And Sandy was saying that There's a reason actually why she's there, why Britta's there. It's because of her ex named Cole. Cole's very controlling. And he was around Sandy, and Sandy's kid is only 10, and he was pressuring the son of where Britta was. So the boy, only being 10, didn't know better and gave him the address. And she's like, well, I didn't see no harm in it. After all, you are in the UK. So she opens she hears a noise, and she opens the door, and there are her boots just right there. She's like, what? So she's freaked out now, and just freaked out. So she goes to find Brahms, and he is sitting on the bed with his routine list. Like, you got to do this routine. So she's like really freaked out now. I know I would be too. So she's not sure what to do, and she runs to her room because she's super freaked out, and she grabs her phone. She has a cell phone, but she grabs a regular landline phone. It's an old-fashioned one. She's like, hello, hello. There's no dial tone. She's like freaking out, crying. She puts it back down, and it rings. And there's this. She's like, hello? And there's nothing. And then there's the heavy breathing, scary thing. And she puts it back down, and it rings again. And it's Brahm asking her to come out and play. So she's really freaked out. Well, we know he likes to play, and he plays games because the mom already warned us. So, and she remembers Mrs. H saying, very nice. If you play nice, I'll play nice. Now she's pretty sure this doll's freaking weird. Well, so Britta starts to decide that she's going to start following the rules. She's going to start, reading to him. She's going to let him play music. She carries him everywhere. She cooks him lunch. So she started to test Brahms. Wanted to see how far Brahms would go. So she cut up Brahms' food and set it in front of Brahms and said, Brahms, cut your food. And he didn't do it. So she grabs her face and starts to cry and goes, oh, if there's a spirit in here, please give me a sign. So then she picks up Brahms, puts him on the hardwood floor, takes some chalk and draws the outside lines of him, walks outside the door. Nothing happens. So she does it again, and he moved a little bit. So she's freaked out. So then she hears a noise, and it's Malcolm. So Malcolm, once again, is the grocery boy. Hold on. So once again, Malcolm is the grocery boy. And he shows up, and she is telling him, this doll's alive, this doll's real. And he's like, no, it's not. And he goes, watch, I'm going to show you. So she does that. She puts him down there, draws the outline, walks away. Nothing happens. She does it again, knocks on the door, goes back in there, and the doll's gone. He likes to play, so he's gone. So she's like, now she's got Malcolm convinced that this doll is real too. So they say, okay. So they go to put the doll to bed, and they start making out. Well, the doll actually sees them start making out and starts freaking out, so they put the doll away. So, hold on. So anyway, they start to make out, and the doll is hiding in the closet. So then the music is loud, and Brahms is out of the bed because he was hiding in the closet. So then they picked him up, put him in the bedroom, and then he's laying on the side, and you can just see this, you know, like this, and his head's like this. And then all of a sudden you hear this the music that he plays super loud. And they get up and they run to this. And there's Brahms at the table with that little turntable and that music playing. That would freak me the freak out, guys. Let me tell you. You guys need to watch this movie. It's freaky. That's why this is called Freaky Friday. And I don't watch scary or freaky movies. I am much of a romantic. I like drama, chick flick stuff. That's my thing. So anyway, so now that they know that Brahm is alive and Brahm could do some bad stuff, she's like, Malcolm, I really need you to tell me exactly what happened. I need to know everything about Brahms. So Malcolm starts telling her about Brahms. So he tells her that one day he had a play date over at his friend named Emily's. And Emily was found later dead. It was she was 8 years old, or it was her 8th birthday or something, and she was found dead. Her head was crushed, her skull was crushed, and the last one that was with her was Brahms. So Mr. and Mrs. H knowing they were going to get investigated, they knew the cops were going to investigate, and by the time they got back to the house had been on fire. It was burning. It was on fire. Brahms never made it out, and it was his 8th birthday. So Brahms was now dead, and they never found her killer, and her name was Emily Cribbs. So after that, she kisses Brahms goodnight and asks him, would he ever hurt her? And there was no response. And she goes back to the photo album and looks at those pictures. She turns that picture over, and the picture of the little girl that was in there was Emily Cribbs. So then Britta can't find Brahms and finds him in the garden outside. So he finds him in the garden outside, brings him into the kitchen, start making them some lunch and something to eat. And then she hears a noise. So she's like, Malcolm, is that you? So she goes where she hears the noise, and it's in the pool room. It's not Malcolm. It's her ex, Cole, from the United States. He came to visit her. He's a control freak. There's some good hands coming up. So she is getting grief from Cole, like, you came to the UK to take care of a doll? Well, we already know now that it's not a true doll, it's a possessed doll. Maybe it's possessed. So she's getting grief from Cole, and Cole thinks it would be best if she left and they can go back home and they can, try to rekindle their relationship, and their plane leaves tomorrow morning. So Cole says, I'm not letting you go, and you're not leaving, and I'm not leaving you, and you're not leaving me. So Britta is still holding Brahms, and Cole is very controlling, and he tells Britta, be ready in the morning. Britta leaves with Brahms, and Britta tells Brahms, don't worry, Brahms, I'm not leaving you. So Cole wakes up to blood dripping down on his face like this. Something's dripping down, and he's like this. Oh, it's blood. And he's yelling, Britta, come here. So Britta goes in there, and he's like, what? Why are you doing this? Look at this. This has to be you. And he points up on the balcony of the stairs, and in blood it says, get out. And he goes, you've had to do this. It's only us in this house. So, and he says, it has to be you. You're the only one in this house. And there they are. They're looking across the pool table. And what do they see in the chair? Brahms. Brahms is sitting there in the chair. I thought he was in bed, right? He plays games. So they're getting in a fight about this because he doesn't really think this doll's doing anything. He thinks it's Britta. So he's getting mad at Britta. he's getting mad at Britta. Sorry. And he takes that doll, grabs it from Britta. Malcolm walks in, and now there's this fight going on. Because there's all this yelling. Malcolm knew all this freaky stuff was going on, and he wanted to help Britta, so he stayed the night. It's a very large house. So anyway, Cole stayed the night in the pool room, and that's where all this was happening. So there's Malcolm, Britta, Brahms, and Cole in there. So there's four of them in there. So Cole's already mad because he thinks that Britta did this, get out with blood. Grabs the doll from Britta, takes it, throws it down on the floor, and shatters. The porcelain little face just went everywhere. Well, then, a lot more freaky stuff starts happening. All of a sudden, the lights start flickering and blowing out, and the mirror broke, and out from the mirror protrudes his hand, an adult's hand. This happened 20 years ago, so I'm guessing that he's 28 years old because he was 8 on his 8th birthday. And this happened 20 years ago, so he's 28 years old. So it's an adult, it's a man. And he comes out from this mirror, and he still has that mask on. No face, just mask. And he's in larger clothes, of course. He's got a hairy chest. Freaking scary. And he's coming out, right? And he's like all waxing out, you know. And he gets out, and he goes after Cole. So he starts beating up Cole and just shaking Cole, throwing him to the ground. And he picks up a piece of the broken mask, stabs Cole right in the neck, kills him, dead. Then he goes after Britta, and then Malcolm goes after him. Britta gets away. Him and Malcolm start fighting, and Malcolm is pretty hurt. So Britta takes off, and she's like, I'm not going to leave you. I don't want to go. I don't want to go, Malcolm. I don't want to leave you here. And then Brahms says, if you leave, I will kill him. And she's already down, you know, outside the house. And so she's coming back in. She's like, no, I can't leave Malcolm. So she goes back in, and she finds Malcolm is on the floor. He's not dead. He's just on the floor or whatever. And she goes, gets Brahms and says, Brahms, I'm not leaving, but it's time to go to bed. Let's go to bed now. So she's trying to take control of the situation as if he was still a little boy. So she goes and puts him to bed. And he has this, like, metal picker or something. It was very thick and very large. And that's what he was using to kill people with or hit people with. And she says, you put that down at the end of the bed. So he put it down. He gets in bed. She covers him back up. And then he talks like this. Kiss, 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 kiss. And that's what he was saying, is he wanted a kiss goodnight. And then Britta says, no, you don't get a kiss tonight. This is for your bad behavior or something to that line. So she starts to walk away. And Brahms grabs her wrist. So then she puts him back to bed, and while she's giving him his kiss, she took a stake, like a metal stake from the drawer, and she takes it out and she stabs him. Well, he's still alive, and he is pissed. Strong, picks her up, herks her all the way over to the wall. He gets up, picks her up, starts choking her, throws her up against the wall, starts choking her, and she's starting to shake. And then she finds that she still has that stake in there, and she kills him. And then he's dead because he's human now, so he's dead. And then she goes down and finds Malcolm, takes Malcolm, and is going to go get him help. And they are just driving away getting help. And that's the end of them guys. But then comes the last part of the movie, is when there's an old lady's hand sewing and gluing. They're sewing and gluing the mask of Brahms' face that was broken and shattered when Cole threw it down on the ground. in the house. The house is completely clean again, like nothing happened. And there's the broken face Brahms at the table, getting repaired. Is there a part 2? I don't know. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. It's a very freaky movie. It's a very good movie. I don't do scary movies. I don't do bloodshed movies too much either, at all. I don't care for them at all. This wasn't too bad. Would I watch it again? Probably so, because I'm going to recommend it that we watch it on a movie night, fright night. My daughter or my husband like that kind of stuff. I don't. So I am going to recommend it, and I'm going to recommend it to you guys. Once again, I seen it on Netflix. It's an hour and 40 minutes long, so make sure you're ready. Grab your own snack and some popcorn and enjoy it. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Hey, and don't forget this Monday, I have a bonus movie. So we have our Monday matinee and our bonus, and I will tell you more about that on Monday. Guys, we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and turn your notification bell on so you never miss one of my uploads. And also give me thumbs up if you like my content. Guys, I'm really enjoying doing this for you, and I hope you are enjoying this as well. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Hey guys, it's Shirley. I forgot to tell you something that I want you guys to know about that movie too. Is when they went, when Mr. and Mrs. H went on vacation, they later on showed what they were doing, and they said, it's time. And what they did is Mr. and Mrs. H held each other's hands and walked out onto this sandy beach or something. And there was 2 big rocks. Each of them put a big rock in their coat pocket. They had gloves on. They're still holding hands. So each one put them on the outside of their hands, and they walked and walked. Walked right into the lake. The rocks dropped them down, and they drowned. They had no intention of coming back, and they knew it. They wanted to commit suicide, obviously, or kill themselves and find somebody else to take care of Brahms. And that's what happened. That's what they did. I forgot to put that in there, and I just thought that was very interesting. And it was said when Malcolm and Britta was finding this, then that's what they had said. But also at the end of the movie, when they were trying to escape, Britta and Malcolm find a room upstairs when they were being chased by Brahms. They found Brahms' room. He actually lived in the walls and in a room. He had his own room. And in that room was a fake doll or something dressed up like a girl wearing Britta's red dress that came up missing. He'd been watching her through the walls and taking her stuff. We all thought that was kind of funky anyway, and whatever happened to it, well, that's what happened to her dress. So I just wanted to tell you that, guys. You really need to go check this movie out. Once again, it's called The Boy, and it's on Netflix. It came out in 2016. I don't know if it's on anything else. It's not made by Disney, so it's probably not on your Disney Channel. I don't know about the other channels, but guys, if you really want to watch a good movie this Halloween season, there it is. Check it out. Y'all, thanks a lot. Don't forget, on Monday, I'm having 2 down a movie matinee and another one. I'll just go ahead and tell you. It's Monday Music Artist Day as well. So I'm going to be featuring a music artist. And if you know me, you might have a guess of who I'm going to be talking about, one of my favorites. Guys, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.